And wow, now you've got stacks that you can turn into great skill checks, and it's bullshit. I've been crunching some numbers and I've got some things to say, but I want to hear what Refined has to say first. Let's get into it.
I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, right? And I don't know if you're going to agree with me, but I think Stakeout Hyperfocus should be deleted from the game, and I would not care if it got deleted right now.
Yeah, I agree.
You might get a biased take from me every now and then. I'm not a believer in perks that absolutely destroy gens in less than 3 minutes, like all 5 gens in a trial. I'm not a big fan of incentivizing that because it's the stigma attached to gen rushing, right? Most people know that when survivors play efficiently and they quote-unquote gen rush the killer, that is actually survival.
I just have to pause right here and check something. I'm just going to jump to a different screen. You already have insane speeds going on, like this video from Hens here. 2 minutes, 26 seconds, well, 0.60. To do all the gens and open the exit gates.
That is actually survivors using everything in their power to speed the game up as fast as possible, and they wonder why killers do the exact same thing on their side of the cart, right, which is tunneling. So for a survivor, one person needs to be in chase, 3 survivors need to be on 3 separate gens. That is ultimate efficiency. If 3 gens are being worked on at all times while somebody's in chase, if the killer switches targets and they drop chase with that survivor and they go for another one, that survivor doesn't just mess around and go and open chests or heal in the corner. They go and sit on a gen as well with resilience. Those gens are just going to get smashed, right? We went through this last year. If a killer tries to speed their objective, it's frowned upon. You're a horrible person. You're evil, quote-unquote, skull merchant behavior. You are all these bad things, but we will add more perks to the game for survivors to rush their objective. So if a killer rushes his objective, no, you can't do that. But if a survivor rushes their objective, which is the gens, that's perfectly fine because there's perks and items in the game that allow you to do so. I don't agree with that. I don't think we should be doing that. I don't think we should be going further down that path. I don't think we should be doing that whatsoever because it just creates the stigma that it's okay to gen rush because behavior gives us perks and items to do it. But it's not okay to tunnel because you just can't tunnel because you're a bad killer. You have to uninstall the game, Mr. Killer, because you're very bad. I'm referring to myself, by the way, guys. I think we did a pretty good job so far. I don't agree with that. You see, that's what I mean, chat. That's what I mean. So when devs add all of these kind of gen rush perks, gen rush items, wire spools, brand new parts, stakeout, hyper focus, all of these different things, that is telling survivors, oh yes, bring these, smash those gens as fast as you can, which everybody inside Dead by Daylight knows killers absolutely cannot stand because it feels horrible, right? It feels like you've got barely time to think or do anything. That's not respecting the killer's time whatsoever. But the second a killer starts to do the exact same thing and they tunnel somebody out to try and even the odds, everybody's like, why are you doing that? Why?
Right. I'm going to go through my numbers that I've got right now. So the reason I wanted to do this video, or react to this video, is because I saw it pop up, and I was already crunching some numbers with the new perks after the PTB. So, I hope I don't trip up here. So, this is based on 2 people minimum on a gen, because these perks work when you're on a gen with someone else. So, if you have 2 people on a generator with Prove Thyself, that is 20% faster already. You add Deja Vu into the equation, and there's another 12%. You add Teamwork Full Circuit, 10%, and Teamwork Soft Spoken, 10%. That's 2 people on a gen doing the gen 52% faster. Now, if you add 3 people in there, it then increases to 78%. And 4 people on a gen would be 94%. And that is just with Prove Thyself, Deja Vu, Full Circuit, and Soft Spoken. Now, let's add a Commodious Toolbox into the equation with the Socket Swivel and the Clean Rag. So, the Commodious Toolbox repairs the generator 50% quicker. The Socket Swivel gives you 30% and the Clean Rag gives you 20%. Now, if you add that all together, 2 people on a generator with Prove Thyself, Deja Vu, Teamwork Full Circuit, and Soft Spoken will be doing a generator with the Commodious Toolbox each and the socket swivel and clean rag, 2 people would be doing the gen. Oh, sorry, I've got my numbers here. 52% quicker. 3 people will be doing it 178% quicker, and 4 people will be doing it 194% quicker. But it gets better. If they take a mechanics toolbox and they use Prove Thyself, Deja Vu, Full Circuit, and Soft Spoken with the socket swivel and clean rag, the mechanics toolbox repairs gens 75% quicker. So 2 people on a generator will be repairing a generator 177% faster. 3 people will be doing it 203% faster, and 4 people will be repairing that generator 219% faster. That is insane. And that's not even bringing in perks like, you could switch them out, resilience, you could add brand new part in there to each person, bring a brand new part, take a 10% off the gen. That wouldn't work as efficiently with the gen speed, I guess. But there's so many combinations that survivors can put together to rush the gens. It's insane. And when I went into the PTB and I saw these 2 new perks, the first thing I said is, more gen rush perks. I can't believe that Behaviour are not listening. They're not listening whatsoever to killers. The reason, like Refined is saying, the reason killers are tunneling so much, and not all of them, don't get me wrong, there are arseholes, but they can't have pressure. The gens just go too fast. The healing is too fast. What is the killer supposed to do when they just can't keep up? And this is just adding fuel to the flames each time. Listen! Behaviour, listen! Sorry, I'll get back to the video now. Actually, I won't get back to the video. Well, I will, just in a second. So I found a recording from the PTB, and here is me doing a gen with the 2 new teamwork perks, and Prove Thyself and Deja Vu. Watch the speed jump up when Rick jumps on the gen with me. Yeah. Also, sorry, I know watching bars is not exciting, but you need to see this. Bear in mind that it's already going 6% faster with Deja Vu. That gen speed is insane! Like, Rick just got on the gen with me and it instantly went really fast, like... And that was without using the toolbox, and I also don't know what perks Rick had on. So, whether he had the new perks on or not, I don't know. But even so, if that was just 2 people with the perks, it's ridiculous. Sorry, now back to the video.
Is the killer killing? That's not allowed. Why are we doing this? We gotta penalise him. We've got to put penalties into the game now. The killer's been a bad killer. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think we need some more equality when it comes to this game, and I think we need to step back from rushing gens. And honestly, I hope to God, chat, that there's not a future coming forward for us where we get Decisive Strike base kit. And I know that might be a bit of a wild card out of nowhere, but do y'all remember back in the day when Borrowed Time used to be...
Isn't DS about to become a general perk anyway? Yes, it is. Once Halloween leaves the store, everyone will have DS for free anyway. So everyone will have DS. I know it's not base kit, and I understand what he's saying. But the fact that it's becoming a general perk is going to make killers' lives a lot harder. And don't get me wrong, I'm not an advocate for tunneling. I'm not. I know there's reasons, I know there's times, I know there's places, you know, I understand. But DS is used so aggressively already. I cannot imagine if they made this base kit.
A perk that everybody would run because it was like meta, and then they basically got it base kit, and now Michael and Laurie are going to be leaving the fog, and DS is going to become a normal perk,
there
a generic
we go. You
perk.
said it.
Can you imagine if in the end they finally add...
I should probably stop and let him speak.
Decisive Strikers base kit? That's going to be absolutely horrendous, and I hope to God they don't. If DS did become base kit, one, I think that the developers are smoking crack if they do. But if they do add it as base kit, in my opinion, we have to automatically extend the time to do gens. It just has to happen, because if you imagine the current state of Dead by Daylight with all the perks and gen rush add-ons and everything else that you can use with base kit DS, there is no way you can do that without upping the time to complete a gen. It absolutely has to happen.
I agree. Like, I honestly feel like Dead by Daylight's already at the point where generators need... the time it takes to do a generator needs to be increased. I really think that would help solve a lot of problems, that it would make killers feel a lot less pressured. And in turn, help with the tunneling problem.
I hope to God they don't do it, but if they do, they have to change the gens. There's no way, because you are essentially forcing the killer down the route of having to spread hooks, and if you're going to do that, that comes with the understanding that generators will be smashed. You absolutely have to extend them. Fun is always subjective, but killer is genuinely becoming so stressful. The amount of times I have to tell myself to calm down and be patient. Exactly, and that is something you're doing really well there, Owl Whisperer. You're doing really, really well. So just telling yourself and being...
You really do feel like there's a foot on your neck as killer. You feel like you just have... You're under so much pressure. It doesn't matter what you do sometimes. Like, you can't make the right decision. It is so hard. So, this person is, like, we understand. We understand.
You're kind of...
I'm sorry if I lose my point a little bit and stumble over my words sometimes. I'm just, I get a little excited. Sorry.
Your own comfort voice in the moment is very useful. Killer is extraordinarily difficult these days. It's very time consuming. It's very demanding. It pulls a lot. It asks so much from you. You're very busy. From the start of that match to the end, you are in complete control, and every single second you waste is a second probably you're giving to the survivors, right? It's a crazy thing. And survivors can have second, third, fourth chances. You might only be able to cost, like, if you go to the wrong place once, that could cost you.
They can have second, third and fourth chances and use them aggressively as well. I strongly believe that if the killer downs and picks up another person, your anti-tunnel perk should deactivate. Because if the killer's picked up another person, then they're clearly not tunneling.
The game. If you miss once or twice, that could cost you a chase. If a survivor is in the wrong place at the wrong time, they might have something that gets them out of that situation for free, you know? So it's very difficult. Don't beat yourself up, because killer is very taxing. It's a very, very demanding role. He'll get nerfed, probably. Probably. That's why I don't want to get my hopes up too much, gamers, because knowing behavior... Because here's what happens, chat, right? We get a new killer in the PTBs, right? We get a new killer, and all survivors go, oh my god, he's busted, he's broken. Do you want to know why they say that? They say that because they don't know counterplay, right? They haven't even... It's a new killer, right? With new powers. You're not gonna know counterplay. You have to play against that killer a fair few times before you start to, like, connect the dots, right? Immediately, they're gonna be going, nah, he's busted, nah, he needs nerfed, nah, too powerful. Right, and then he'll get nerfed.
I will say about Vecna, I feel like his Vine attack needs to be more telegraphed. Because when I was playing against him, I felt like I didn't know his Vine was coming until it was already there. If that makes sense. It needs like just a split second or more of a warning that he's using his Vine attack to give you a chance to move out the way. That's just my opinion. But everything else is great. I love him. I think he's great. I can't wait to play him.
And then finally the survivors will learn the counterplay that was always there. So now you've got a weaker version of the release killer with the counterplay, and then survivors just run them for like 2 minutes at a time. Do you know what I mean? It's like killers aren't allowed to have fun, you know? With Krasu, Big Al, my friend, it's good to see you. Yes, exactly what happened to Krasu. To be fair, though, I will say, I think Krasu was slightly too overtuned, but I don't think she needed to be nerfed as fully. The only real issue with Krasu was that she could still go straight back after you because you still were infected when you got unhooked, right? I think everything else was fine. It's just because she was still infected when you got unhooked, it just allowed you to tunnel so easily. For each other survivor repairing a generator with you, the size of the good skill check zone is increased by 25%. Gens are fast enough, right? Hear me out. If this dev team was in touch with its community at its fullest right now, there would be a unanimous point to make that gens are already too fast in this game. I don't think we need to be adding anything else that encourages the speed of generators right now. If this carries on in this direction, we are going to get to the point where killers just do not stand a fucking chance. I'm fed up of seeing things that speed gens. I don't want to see you repair this amount faster all the damn time, man. There's already enough in the game. Like, we're just refreshing the same thing and adding more speed to the same thing. Buff killers tunneling then, because if you're going to buff survivors doing their objective even faster, buff killers tunneling at the same time because they need some kind of counterplay, man. We don't need any more gen speed builds. We don't need that. We've got enough. We've got enough. It's going to be abused to fuck. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. I have to be honest. That's my out-of-box.
See, I do think as well, I know Refine said it earlier, with Stakeout Hyperfocus, I think Stakeout shouldn't work with Hyperfocus. If you're good enough to hit those great skill checks, then by all means run Hyperfocus. But you shouldn't have a perk that literally does the job for you. You don't have to do anything. Like, you don't have to hit you just sit there. All you do with Stakeout is sit there in the killer's terror radius, which you do anyway. And wow, now you've got stacks that you can turn into great skill checks, and it's fucking bullshit.
Experience just reading this. I don't think we need any more Gen Rush perks. The weaker tiered killers already have a hard time keeping up. If they can go even faster, this shit is going to get beyond belief. This is too much. If we don't hate on it, how would they know it's broken? Oh wait, it's survivor perks. Of course we should just accept them. For those that are new, by the way, that have joined me recently, I am one of the streamers that, even though I'm in the partner program, I'm now an official creator that's partnered with Dead by Daylight. They knew my stance on this before they gave me this opportunity. They knew that I would...
Massive congratulations to... English! It's braces, sorry. Massive congratulations to Refined for getting into the creator program. Oh my god. Will my tongue work? The creator program. Well done.
Criticize these things, and I do it not because I'm trying to give them a hard time. I'm doing it because I genuinely care about this game, so they know what they signed up to when they allowed me in. But I will never drop my values. If I think something is heavily lopsided or it's wrong, I will call it out. That is something I will always do, whether I've got that behavior badge or not. You'd think so. Yeah, Deathfang. I can already smell killer bots coming with how this game is going. And that'll kill the game. That'll kill the game. You see, the difference is, we can have a survivor bot, that's fine, right? Because that's one of 4. But if...
I remember when I switched to PC and I had to do it was before cross progression, and I had to do the tutorial after having like 4,500 hours already on PlayStation. I had to do the tutorial, and yeah, like 5-gen chase versus the killer bot. It was hilarious. Well, it probably wasn't hilarious, but it was hilarious to me. Like, that's insane. Please, no killer bots. But then you just get bloody nurse bots. Oh my god. Have you seen the bots in 2v8? Have you seen, like, the nurse bot and stuff in 2v8? It's insane. Like, trapper bot we can deal with, that's fine. But nurse, no. Just keep her, okay? Nuh-uh.
The killer turns into a bot, survivors will just DC. Do you know why? Because you can't bully a bot, right? Nobody likes that. Survivors, now, what's one of the biggest killers that survivors can't stand going against, right? You hear it a lot. Night, right? Survivors do not like going against Night. They think that the AI, being chased by AI, is so boring. Well, how do you think us killers feel when we wait 10 to 15 minutes for a killer game, only to show you guys that we're actually not that bad playing killer, and you all DC within the first 2 minutes of the game, and then we're expected to chase AI around the map whilst ever we...
It the DC epidemic is just insane. DC penalties need to be increased. They need to do something. Like, I know I watched Scott Junn do a bit of a piss take video the other day about his new hardest challenge, and he got to 7 games in a row or something without anyone DCing. That's DBD now. You can only do 7 games at max without someone DCing. I played Killer in the winter event. I tried to do the challenges for Killer. I loaded in as Wesker. The first match I got, I downed an Ada and she was under a pallet. There was a Meg hanging around for the save, so I downed the Meg, left the Ada slugged, downed the Meg, left the Meg slugged and picked up the Ada before someone came and got her up. The only thing I could do, and hook her, Ada DCs, and then after that, the others just all stood at a hook. They didn't want to play. They didn't want to DC because they didn't want the penalty, but they didn't want to play either. They just literally stood at the hook. And what was I supposed to do? Okay, well, so I hooked them and went on to the next match. The very next match, I downed someone very quickly. All of them DC'd. I don't know if it was because I was playing Wesker or what was going on, but I didn't even get a chance. So 2 games I tried to play, and then I played Trapper. I played Krampus Trapper, and 2 people DC'd. The Lara ran into my trap at Cowtree, instantly DC'd, and a Jake ran into my trap at a jungle gym and DC'd. Like, sorry, the Lara DC'd because she went down at Cowtree, and the Jake DC'd when he realised I had Honing Stone. You can't get a game. You cannot get a game for the DC epidemic.
You want to play the game, right? So it's boring as fuck. If killers become bots, it'll die. I promise. At the end of the day, I think survivors, as much as they like to give killers shit, without killers, man, you won't be able to enjoy the game just as much as we want to. So, but it's kind of like, you know, and survivors say the same thing back to us too. They'll sit there and they'll say, oh yeah, but you're...
It is. I made a video the other week, where I went against my friend Tim. The video's on, it's on my channel. I went against my friend Tim 5 times in one night. The killer pool was so small, and the queue times were really long, and the killer pool was so small that I went against him 5 times. Now, I've played with Tim for 3 years, and I've had Tim a handful of times in those 3 years. 5 times in one night. What does that tell you?
You're complaining about us running all these second chances, but you run gen regression. It's like, no, seriously, survivors, hear me out for a second. Just allow your mind to open just for the possibility of hearing something new out, and don't shut it down immediately. Care to actually learn something, not because we're talking down to you, but because we're trying to meet you in the middle. Gen regression is nowhere near as strong as it used to be. It's basically all we have left. It's like the last remnants of any chance we have at getting a decent amount of time in the game. And when things like this, we're getting even more perks that can rush gens and add time to the survivors and not the killer. We're being strangled, we're being choked because we don't have enough time in the game to do our objective, right?
Gen regression is actually a joke. Like, it just is. The only thing that pisses me off with gen regression is not them on their own, but it's the pain res dead man's combo. I hate that. So you blew up the gen, so now I can't touch it for 40 seconds. I think that is just, or whatever it is. I think it's way too much. It's not fair. But other than that, gen regression really fucking sucks.
That's why killers will tunnel. It's most of the time why people tunnel.
Also, I understand why people run it. Because gen regression fucking sucks.
Sometimes people might tunnel because one survivor's giving them a lot of shit, and they might say, okay, I don't care if I lose this game, I'm just going to get this person out, I want to prove a point. Sometimes they'll tunnel because they actually want to win, and they know that they need to even the odds and make it a 3v1.
I've seen this, by the way. I've went to take a hit for someone in chase that's been tunnelled, and I've seen them teabagging the killer and went, okay, get on with it. Like, I'm not getting involved in that. You deserve it. So tunneling is not always on the killer. It's not.
Rather than a 4v1. There's many reasons, but most of the time it's because the game's going too fast. There are multiple reasons why killers are frustrated, upset, or don't want to play. I feel this way with Survivor as well. Don't get me wrong. Guys, there's plenty of pain points in Survivor too. Solo queues are hell, right? Solo queues hell. There's some people out there that can take solo queue. They love the variety of it. They love the stupidity of it. And don't get me wrong, I do too. I like solo queue in bite-sized amounts too. I can get some good brain rot from solo queue. Sometimes the most random shit will happen and you're just like, bro, this game is so funny, right? But then there's sometimes where it's just the worst experience ever. There's definitely problems on there as well. But I've always said, add a ping system behavior. You need to add something where survivors can communicate. It doesn't have to be voice calls. It doesn't have to be. But something that just allows you to press a simple button and so everybody knows on the team, okay, that person is going to go for the unhook, and then there's no confusion. And you know what happens then? Naturally, the kill rates will go down ever so slightly because even solo queue will have a little bit more of an advantage, a little bit more balance. And then behavior must address killer balancing. They must bring killers up. They must buff them, right? I think that's what definitely has to happen. Like, I'm going to be honest. There are some people that genuinely like just doing gens, right? There's genuinely people out there that actually look forward to opening Dead by Daylight and just sitting on a gen and hitting skill checks. There are. I'm not going to discriminate, right? If that
That really can't be true. Seriously? Actually, I know people like this. It is true.
That's what brings you to this game and you enjoy that, fair play. But if you also care about this game, you would be okay with not having that many gen rush abilities, right? Whether it's perks or add-ons, because you have to care about the overall game balance, not just yourself. Because that's the unfortunate thing. When I downloaded Dead by Daylight, I look forward to the horror icons, right? Michael Myers, Freddy, you've got all these cool-ass characters, right? I never thought about doing gens. I didn't really get excited about it, but I did get excited about, oh my god, that's fucking Michael Myers. You know? Like when I first downloaded DBD, oh my god, that's fucking Michael Myers. Oh my god, bro, this is crazy. Right? And then, oh shit, he's coming for me. You know, like that kind of thing. It's like, oh, you know, it's really like, oh shit, this is cool. This is cool. I'm getting chased by Michael fucking Myers. This is crazy. And it's like, I never really got excited to sit there and be like, oh, skill check, ding. Oh, another skill check. Ding. Right. It's okay. And if that's what makes you happy, that's fine. But for me personally, chasing survivors or being chased by the killer is the most exciting part of this game. And I think it's where the most skill lies in the game. I think if...
I tell you what the biggest killer is. I tell you what the biggest killer in this game is. Rats. Teammates that rat. We went against a Bubba... like literally yesterday or the day before, and time doesn't matter. Wasn't long ago. There was me and my friend and two randoms. These two randoms were just hiding edge map every time Bubba's terror radius came near. So what did Bubba do? He tunneled me and my friend out. He did try and look for the other people, but he couldn't find them. And then when the Bubba did finally tunnel me, the Yunjin literally stood in front of me as Bubba was carrying me to the hook. Didn't take a hit, didn't do anything, didn't have any hooks. If she took a hit, I 1,000,000% was off. I don't know if I've got the clip, but you don't need to see the clip. You understand. You've had it before. So yeah. Sometimes the tunneling is 1,000,000% your solo teammates' fault. I think that was my point. Sorry.
If you can become a proficient looper, and if you can become a proficient killer, that's like one of the best feelings, you know? When you can master that, it feels so good. It feels like you've earned something, right? Okay, right. Let me quickly get through these. When the killer reveals your aura, you gain 1 token. When you have 4 tokens, spend all tokens, and you and other survivors see the killer's aura for 15 seconds. This perk has a 10-second cooldown. Did they borrow this from the whole, like, last anti-tunnel build? We've got elusive built into a perk, and this allows you to see the killer's aura. Do you remember their proposed changes before, chat? They said that you'd be able to see the killer's aura when you got unhooked, right? I swear that's what they were doing. Has 11 just taken everything they didn't want to put into the anti-tunnel, and they've just added it as perks into the... I mean, it won't surprise me, would it? Everything becomes a perk in this game. And we've got teamwork soft-spoken for each other survivor repairing a generator with... Oh, wait, no, that's the last... No, that is that one. For each other survivor repairing a generator with you, the range at which generator repair noise is heard is reduced by 25% while repairing... You repair 5% faster?
There it is. Also, this is... I mean, I suppose it's not a major issue, but this is also gonna make gaming and hearing gens for people who already have issues so much harder. Like, not everyone has a fantastic headset. Some people have hearing problems. Hearing generators sometimes is hard enough. I mean, I'm not saying it's overpowered. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying that the thought for people who have issues with hearing or don't have great headsets is not there. I think that was my point.
The other one repairs 5% faster. What? Nah.
And that's where my maths comes in. And I'm going to put it up on screen. Actually, I'll put it up on screen now. I don't know. I feel like I should do something like here, 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 and here. I don't know. Ignore me.
Nah. Nah, you're smoking crack behavior. What the fuck is that? Right, so, hang on a minute. So, 2 survivors on a gen already is way faster than 1 survivor on a gen on their own, right? Okay, and then both of them have both of these new perks, so that's an extra 10%. And then if one brings Prove Thyself, that's an extra... And then what if the other one's got Resilience as well, and the... So you're telling me if you bring...
The reason I didn't do the math with resilience is because you have to be injured for resilience and people don't like to be injured. And working out the math for 1 person injured or 2 people injured and 3 people injured would just make my brain explode because I'm terrible at math as it is. So I just went with the simple, just adds, what's the word? Percentage. Adds percentage.
Stake out hyperfocus. 1 person brings Prove Thyself. 1 person brings Teamwork Full Circuit. The other one brings Soft Spoken. And they both bring a brand new part and a wire spool. You are going to fucking destroy a generator. You are going to melt it. It's not even gonna, like, fuck that gen. Like, it's gone, right? And Deja Vu, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, gamers. I'm massively against that. No, no behavior, no. No, we don't need any more of this shit. It's not an excuse neither. Just because you're giving the killer some extra gen regression perks and stuff like that does not warrant even more gen rush perks, bro.
But the gen regression perk isn't as strong as it sounds either, because I don't know if it's a bug or not, but you have to have line of sight on the generator to blow it up for 10% or whatever it is. So if you're on a multi-story and the next gen about to pop, you think, oh, it's great because I can see it and I'm going to pop it. You can't. You have to literally be looking at the gen. So at that point, you might as well just go and bloody kick it. Like I hope it's a bug. I really do, because that perk seems really cool. So I really hope that it's a bug and you are able to use it through walls. I really do.
It's all the gen regression is not keeping up as it stands with current gen rush builds in Dead by Daylight. There is no way we're doing this. Even for some killers, even for some survivors out there that are very interested in learning killer and to play killer, even those people are going to be put off from wanting to play it because it will be so disgusting feeling those gens go at the speed they can go at, man. It is a horrible experience. One of the worst sounds. It's PTSD inducing when you're playing a game of killer and all you can hear in unimaginable quick succession is generators popping left, right, and center. It is horrible, man. It's a disgusting feeling. We've already got enough gen rush perks in the game, right? And I'm sorry, turn back the clock is not going to counter everything else on its own. It's simply not going to do that. If anything, we need gen regression buffed again, not adding more gen rush shit. I'm so done with that. Don't get me wrong, I like the thematicness of it. Kit, I absolutely agree. If I can go over, even as D&D Vecna, if I can go over to a gen and be like, no, right? And I can pop that gen while the survivor's trying to, like, finish it right in my face, that would feel good, but it's
Actually, that's actually a really good use for it as well. That would be great. Like, they're trying to just rush the gen in your face and pop it in your face, because I hate that. Even though I do it. I'm a hypocrite. Okay, I said it. Yeah, that would be a good use for it.
10%, man. There is some genuinely really, really fucking fun, amazingly thematic killers in this game that just get dogpiled, gen rush to fuck, and get teabagged in the exit gate because they're just, by definition, weak as shit. I hate that, man. I hate that. Takes all the fucking horror away from the game. You know what I mean? It's just a bully simulator. It's a bully simulator. It's a gen rush bully simulator. That's what it is. It will be fast, possibly painless, definitely. Right, okay.
Another fantastic video from Refined. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that and reacting to it. Thank you for listening to me talk shit. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you later.